Hey guys, Wolf Wengler. Well, winter's coming in here in Colorado. We've had a couple 30-degree mornings already, so I thought it would be a good idea to go over the car one time and put it away for the winter. But that's not exactly the way things worked out. I was set up to check the valve lash. In fact, I was even going to do a little video on it. And I got up on the number 1 cylinder on the first valve, the exhaust one, and I put my hand on the valve spring, and there was a little motion to it and a little bit of oil actually squirted out. There's a checking spring on here, but the stem shouldn't move. So I went from there. I took the spring off and I looked at the guide and the valve. Guide was loose, but looking down at the bolt hole here, this bolt on the head, there was a sign of a little bit of water, and when I pulled that bolt out, it was all rusty. So I pulled that head off, and there was a water leak on the head, and I'll show it to you. Smallest little deal. This bolt hole here, you can see the casting right there at the top. There's two like little tiny nicks. And if you look at it, what I'm gonna do is get the light in it now. If you look at it carefully, you can see it actually runs down. So I called the guys at Brodix and I asked them if there was water around this bolt hole, because this is a water passage on this side. It's the bolt hole, and this is a water passage on this side. And he checked and he said, yeah, there's water around it, so it may not be that easy just to weld it up. Better send it in. So I said, okay, I'm going to send you this head in. And then I want to send you the other head too. When these heads are machined, they machine a little recess in the two outboard bolt holes, because that recess is made for this sleeve, this little collar that's on the block side that registers the head, that puts the head in place when you put it on the engine. But on this particular head, and I don't like to turn the head over onto the mating surface and then move it around. But on this particular head, the two outside bolt holes were both drilled with that same recess. So you can see the way the washer didn't really seat around that like any of the other washers seated around all the way around the hole. And see the way the washer seats on there compared to just that little ring around the outside. So what they did in the manufacturing process was they ran the drill or the cutter or whatever they use on the other side of the head, they ran it onto the two end bolt holes here as well. And the guy at Brodix says, I can't believe that, I'll have to see that. I said, fine, I'll send you that one too. So I've got these heads apart, and they're going back to Brodix, and we'll see what's what. These are nice heads, actually. The chambers and the bowls are CNC'd and cleaned up. The exhausts are pretty good. The flow is pretty nice around everything. I've smoothed out a lot of the rough edges on them when I first got them. But they're going to need a valve job, and they're going to need valve guides. Now, there's a question on these early Brodix Race Right heads, was whether they came with phosphorus valve guides or the chrome magnesium valve guides. The phosphorus ones are softer, and they changed away from those early on in the manufacturing process. So that may be why the guides were loose, but I can't tell which is phosphorus, which is chrome magnesium. So we'll find that part out too. Anyway, this shit's going back. Everything else stashed under the covers here for the winter. So that's where we're at. I'm kind of disappointed in Brodix on one hand. I really expected more from their product, but on the other hand, their customer service has been totally stand up and willing to work with me. We'll pay for your shipping, we'll ship them back to you at our expense, and there'll be no charge for the repairs. I'd be more pissed, I guess, if I was in Florida and I was losing the nice winter season for driving, but not much of that winter season here in Colorado for driving. So we're going to ship these back to Brodix, let them put new guides in them, weld them up, fix the bolt holes. And here's, by the way, I meant to show you this before. So here's the bolt holes that were cut out wrong. And here's the way they're supposed to be. See, that one doesn't have that step that they put in this one. And that step is the same step that you see on the mating surface side of the head. But anyway, that's where we're at. I'll keep you posted.